We are here with Elida Field at her studio in downtown Camas. And Elida, you just finished a live segment with KATU on the AM Northwest show. And you did a little painting called Freedom Is. And we're here to celebrate Veterans Day.
Yes.
And can you explain about what you did today and what your painting is all about with freedom?
Yes. So earlier for Girls Night Out, we did a collaborative painting, and I had just watched a documentary called The Girl Who Wore Freedom. And it was a beautiful story about how in France, in Normandy, and some of these other small towns that had been freed by the Americans in World War II, how they celebrate our vets every year in a huge parade. They dress up, they do, they have a big, huge festival, and they really, really, really celebrate our veterans and their freedom. And I was so moved by this because I thought, we don't do that even here. And I think for them, it was...
Why don't we?
I don't know. I think we sometimes lose touch with what these men and women have fought for.
Because it was over there.
It was over there. Like the documentary goes to these people there that are living there, that were living in that town when they were occupied by the Germans, and they're saying, there's bombs and there's things coming, and it was, so they remember. But the thing that I loved about it was that they're teaching their younger generations about it, and that the history is not being lost. And they're celebrating it, and they're thankful, and they're grateful, and they know that was a defining moment to keep. They said we could be speaking German if you guys hadn't come, to give us back our freedom. And I think we lose sight of that. Like our vets, I am so grateful. I felt my heart hurt because I think sometimes we don't give them the respect or the honor or the thanking them enough for the sacrifices that they've made. And there was a French man there that's in the younger generation. He's a younger man, and he's here now coming around the United States and just interviewing some of these vets because he doesn't want to lose the stories. He doesn't want to lose the history. He doesn't want to lose what we could be without these brave people fighting for us. So
what is freedom in your painting today?
Yeah, so for our collaborative Girls Night Out, I was really thinking, because everybody puts words to finish a sentence. And I was really curious as to what people thought freedom was for them. And it could be very different depending on the person. But for this piece for AM Northwest, I just took dictionary definitions of freedom and the Thesaurus of Freedom. The power of right to act, to speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. The absence of subjection to foreign domination or despotic government. The state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. The state of being physically unrestricted and able to move easily. It goes through. There's self-government, free speech, privilege, prerogative, free thinking. It was pretty powerful just looking through what the dictionary definition of freedom means. And so I layered that on the canvas. I really didn't go off of what the dictionary definition or thesaurus definitions of freedom, what that was about from our regular dictionary. And then we put that on a canvas. So I layered it with using a product called Aquavar. It's kind of like Mod Podge on steroids. And so you put the glue down, and then you lay down your paper over the top after you put the glue on the canvas, and then you also put the glue back over the top of it. And then once that's dried, it kind of creates a seal over the paper so that when you paint over the top, you get this really cool effect where you can still see the words coming through. You can still see, and you can wash some of it off because it creates kind of a glossy, like a plasticky kind of effect, so that you can wipe some of the paint on or wipe it off, and yet you can still see the words coming through, which I think is really cool.
Okay, and so that was on the AM Northwest segment, which
Yes.
I helped produce this morning as your cameraman. Now, your art is your expression, and you've done this as a career. How does that translate into our country today with the freedoms that we have?
Well, I love the fact that art allows me to, it gives me even a little bit more freedom in terms of artistic expression.
Creative license.
Yeah, creative license. Like, I know that this flag isn't completely accurate. I have stars that are not 50 stars, and I was like, but you know it's an American flag, right? You see the stripes.
Doesn't have to be literal, right?
It doesn't have to be literal. So sometimes in creating that, I also really love to create pieces that make people have a conversation. This piece, that I did with the Girls' Night Out, Freedom is, people could write in their own individual sayings of what they believe freedom is. And that gets people, like, I didn't say you can't write that. You could write whatever you wanted to write, and that's going to be included in this piece, because I think it's important for us to listen to people and to understand. For me, freedom might mean one thing. For you, it might mean something very different. And having that conversation, art is supposed to make you think. It's supposed to make you feel something. Whether you hate my work or love my work or have a conversation about it, at least if I make you feel something or talk about it, I feel like I've done my job.
Well, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.